So I'm convinced, how do you do it? Use the VA. That's one way. A little bureaucratic. That's why I asked David to be here to help advertise for them. If you can afford it, hire a vet, because they come with a network. So I mentioned I was the Dean of the Army Engineer School, so every junior officer, non-commissioned officer, single soldier, now that passed through the Army Engineers through a period of 2 years is now on my LinkedIn network. And here's a standing offer. If you're looking to hire an engineer, give me a job description, I'll post it on my LinkedIn, my personal LinkedIn. When I retired, my network was zero. It's amazing now what happens when you become a CEO and all of a sudden people want to connect with you on LinkedIn. But I do. I was just telling some vets, if you're a veteran, come into my network, and I will use my network for good. So if you have a job, post it on my LinkedIn, hey, and people kind of get that I'm a veteran guy. It's free advertising for your job descriptions, and they're great people. But you can still use the VA in those programs. If you do, call me or hire a vet who can understand that bureaucracy and help you navigate that. It also comes with their own network, like what my network was. They have all the folks that they're still connected with on Facebook and LinkedIn. The challenge is they're probably not geographically co-located because they scatter. But they still have a pretty intense network. And then they'll develop a network amongst the veterans. I have a pretty now intense and large network of veterans in the local area as well. Career Source I mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce, South Tampa, Greater Tampa, all those have great military councils, particularly with their affiliation with MacDill. There's a ton of LinkedIn groups out there. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, just tell me that we met here, you can connect with me, and then look at all my groups that I'm a part of. And you can, all kinds of places to find veterans on there. ESGR, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve. Huge fan of that. I'll take a reservist as well. The challenge is, 1 week a month, 2 weeks a year, if you're willing to do that. But for me, that's a no-brainer because they come. And also, if you hire a reservist or guardsman, guess what? Now you have their network. And if you want to hire more, they go back to the armory on the weekends and say, man, that's a great employer. They're really looking to hire more. And next thing you know, you got the whole Guard and Reserve unit in your unit. Now that 2 weeks out of the year, you probably need to schedule your vacation because all your employers are all going to the same place. All right, there's state organizations, county veterans councils. Frank Strong is the director of veteran services for Hillsborough County. We're a member of that one. We're a member of Sarasota County. Very strong because the veterans population here in Florida is huge. So very strong. Local colleges and universities. My son's going to Florida State next year. Go Noles. He's going to be a freshman. And so, man, I heard this. I think he's a retired Air Force guy. So fired up yesterday at orientation, or 2 days ago at orientation. Just a great guy, a great veterans program at Florida State. They said they were trying to be #1 in the nation. I said, hey, bud, I introduced myself afterwards. I said, do you know Larry Brow? Larry Brow, Lieutenant Colonel retired over at USF. I think they were #2 in the nation. So they're in your backyard. It's going to be tough to beat them. And, USF has a great program. I think they're #2 nationally. #1, I think, is Syracuse, and they're only #1 because they have a building. And I'm trying to help with a bunch of folks to get Larry a building over at USF. So those are great ways. And they have this really cool networking program, too. So if you want to help vets, sign up with USF, and you can become a mentor to a veteran who's a college student. Okay? But another great source. There's a ton of nonprofits out there. We used to think of the VFW and the American Legion. Still great organizations to advocate on behalf of veterans. But I think they've kind of, with our younger generation, they've kind of been replaced by organizations like Team RWB, Team Red, White, Blue. Their mission is to connect veterans with society through social and physical activities. So they get together, do bike rides, things like that. Then they'll go have a beer afterwards. But those organizations, if you can infiltrate them, that's another network. And I'm happy to help with those introductions as well. And then there are recruiters. There are for-profit, nonprofit recruiters out there that specifically hire. Now, a good friend of mine is starting a recruiter. It's called Veterans to Corporate. And she's really passionate about it. She's fantastic. But she said the problem is everybody, y'all want to hire veterans, but you don't want to pay staffing companies to hire veterans. I get that. I think that's something you should think about. If you're willing to pay staffing companies to hire other folks, why not vets? Sometimes it's a stigma attached to going back to one of my earlier slides. It's a homeless vet. Well, I'm a vet. I'm a vet. They're all vets. They got talents. They got skills. Hire them.